If I would tell you that one little candle is what saved the United States of America. So in other words, the Hanukkah story is not only a Jewish story, it's not only the story of the Jews in the time of the Maccabees, but it is the savior of the entire USA. You would say, come on, don't exaggerate. So you know what? Here is the story. And I'll read it to you. In the winter of 1777, was a very harsh one, very almost unbearable. Soldiers were stationed in the Valley Forge and no inkling of why they were there. Amongst them was one lone Jewish soldier, and it was the first night of Hanukkah. When all the soldiers in the tent were fast asleep, he took out his little menorah and lit one candle, said his blessings, and sat down to watch the small flame dancing in the darkness of the night. It fired his imagination and brought back a host of memories. And then, suddenly, the general, in person, appeared at his side, looked at him and said gently, "Why are you weeping? Are you cold?" The soldier, surprised, jumped up to his feet and saluted. And then he responded, "I'm weeping before my Father in heaven. Everyone's fate lies in his hands. He controls the fate of millions, the world over. I was actually praying for your success, General Washington. I came to this country because I was fleeing the persecution of tyrants who have forever oppressed my family, my townspeople, and my nation. Those despots will fail, sir, but you will be victorious." "Thank you, soldier," the general replied heartily, and sat himself on the ground before the menorah. And he asked, "What have we here?" "This is a candelabra. Jews all over the world are lighting the first candle of our festival, Hanukkah, tonight. This serves to commemorate the great miracle that occurred to our ancestors. They were only a handful compared to the massive armies, but they held out. And thanks to their faith of God, and they were granted a miracle. General, light is more powerful than might." The bright flame ignited the flame of hope in the weary general's eyes, and he cried out joyfully, "You are a Jew? So you are a descendant from the people of the prophets? And you say that we will win the war?" "Yes, sir," he saluted. The general rose, his face glowing with renewed hope. They shook hands, and then Washington asked the soldier for his name and address and disappeared into the night. On the first night of Hanukkah in 1778, our Jewish veteran was sitting in his home on Broome Street, New York. The first Hanukkah light was burning brightly on his windowsill. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. His wife rose to open it wide. To her astonishment, there stood President Washington. Surprised. "There is that fabulous light, the Hanukkah light," President Washington cried out happily, spotting the candle by the window. "That flame and your remarkable words kindled a light in my heart on that dark and bitter night. My soldier, my friend, my savior, I want you to know, that night we were in a very tight situation. I was ready to give up. When I saw how the soldiers are frightened, are exhausted, are cold, demoralized, I became demoralized. Your words of faith, of conviction, of commitment encouraged me to go on, and it spurred me on to new hope. You will soon be awarded the Medal of Honor from the United States of America for your bravery in Valley Forge. But tonight, you will receive a personal memento from me. And with these words, he placed on the table a gold medal on which was engraved a Hanukkah menorah with one light burning. And on the medal was inscribed, as a sign of thanks for the light of your candle, George Washington. Hanukkah, a universal message of hope, of redemption, of Mashiach.